Good morning, viewer. Welcome to our first TV USA. Here is the breaking news. The bodies of Russian soldiers are piling up in Ukraine as Kremlin conceals true toll of war. The first warm, sunny days of spring in the southern Mykov region are ushering in a grave new reality, the smell of the dead. As the frost melts and ground thaws, the bodies of Russian soldiers strewn across the landscape are becoming a problem. In his 90 video address on Saturday, Vitaly King, the region's governor, called on local residents to help collect the corpses and put them in bags. As temperatures rise to above freezing, we are not waste, are we? He implored residents who have already lost so many of their own in this world. Mykolayiv was among the first regional capitals to be attacked after Russian President Vladimir Putin launched the invasion of Ukraine on February 24. After pushing into the urban center, Russian troops have been forced out by Ukraine's military, leaving a trail of back-end combat vehicles and tanks in their wake. But the battle for the city, a concern in Russia's westward quest along the Black Sea coast to Odessa, is still raging, and its nuclear how long Ukrainian forces will be able to fend off the assault. Referring to them as Orc, the evil monstrous army in J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, Kim said that the Russians had retreated and left their colleagues' charred bodies behind on the battlefield. He sent pictures of the abandoned corpses, adding there are hundreds of them all over the region. The governor has called for the bodies to be placed into refrigerators and sent back to Russia for identification through DNA testing. But a month into the war, it is still unclear how or if the remains of soldiers are being repatriated to Russia, where reports about the death toll have largely been silenced. The country has cracked down on any information about the realities of the bloody war, restricting access to Western media reports as well as the social networks Twitter and Facebook in Russian territory. Exactly how many Russian troops have been killed in Ukraine remains a mystery. The official line from Russia's defense ministry was 490 military personnel until Monday, when pro-Putin Russian tabloid Pravda published a report updating the toll of 9,861, the figure which was attributed to the ministry and later retracted by the paper, which claimed it was hacked, has not been confirmed by the Kremlin, whose spokesman Dmitry Peskov on Tuesday told to the reporter, as far as the numbers are concerned, we agreed from the very beginning that we do not divulge the information. That number tallies with information shared with US and NATO officials who gave a recent estimate that Russian casualties range from between 3,000 and 10,000. Ukrainian officials have claimed the toll is even higher at more than 15,000. But we are unable to verify the overall number of Russian deaths. One of the most searing early images of the war in Ukraine was of a dead Russian soldier, his face and body obscured by a dusting of newly fallen snow. The picture, shot by New York Times photojournalist Tyler Hicks, captured the anonymity of the more than 150,000 Russians sent to fight their neighbors, and the anxiety of Russian families desperate to find out any information about their fate. The Ukrainian government has claimed that the Russian army sent mobile crematomas to burn their own dead. The Russian people dying here, nobody is counting them. People dying in this world, do you know they have brought a cremation chamber with them? They are not going to show the bodies to their families. They are not going to tell the mothers that their children died here. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky told reporters in a briefing on March 3rd. On the same day, The state-owned Ukrainian Railways said in a statement on its website that it had provided Ukraine's armed force with 20 refrigerated cars for the removal of dead Russian soldiers from several areas, including Odessa. Just 72 hours later, the chairman posted a message on his personal Telegram channel saying that Russia never came to loot them for the sake of victorious propaganda. They are ready to deprive mothers of even the opportunity to bury the bodies. Ukraine's government said it is still waiting to receive a request from Russian authorities for the repatriation of the bodies of those killed. The Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister said the issue of collecting and identifying the bodies has been discussed in a meeting between Prime Minister Denis Sal and the President of the International Committee of the Red Cross, Peter Maur, on Thursday. But the ICRC has not confirmed whether it is assisting Ukraine in the return of Russian remains to their home country, which is provided for under international law. Hints at the scale of Russia's troop losses have begun to emerge in videos and reports on March 18. The Belarus service of Radio Free Europe Radio Liberty, a US-funded media organization, published images of Russian ambulance convoys appearing to arrive to field hospitals in southern Belarus near Ukraine's border and reported that mosques in the area were overflowing. A March 21st report by English-language Ukrainian media outlet The Kyiv Independent followed a Ukrainian emergency response until digging of Russian soldiers buried in unmarked communal graves in Ryazaniv, a village east of the capital, left in a heap without identification documents or IDs. Russian state media reports have stuck to the 498 figures had new funerals have been documented in the country where censorship of the war has been taken to an extreme with a new law criminalizing reporting contradicting the Kremlin. In the absence of information about Russia's dead, Ukrainians have been trying to fill in the gaps. A website and telegram channel established by the Ukrainian Ministry of Internal Affairs aimed at Russian families publishes a steady stream of photos of dead soldiers and captured young men, sometimes alongside their identity codes. The name of the site, 2000rf.com, is a grim nod to Gruch-200 or Cargo-200, a military code word that came into use in the 1980s during the war in Afghanistan, used by the Soviets for the bodies of soldiers placed in zinc-lined coffins for transport. Victor Andrushev, an advisor of Ukraine's Internal Affairs Minister and the creator and the coordinator of the channel, also known as Look for Your Own, said he launched the initiative to help Russia families struck down information about the soldier. We are not making war against the Russian people, and I don't think they should suffer because of their regime, which lies to them and says everything is good, no one is dying. He told it is a way for us to bring them some truth. But identifying dead Russian soldiers has been a difficult task. Andrushev said only 30 have been found on the Telegram channel by their relatives, who scanned through gruesome images of those killed in action for clues about whether their loved ones are alive or dead. Ukrainian forces sent Andrushev images of deserted bodies, but they are often unrecognizable and have no documents on them. It is very difficult to identify the dead because normally they don't have documents with them. Normally the commanders take their documents but put them in some boxes. Normally they die in this war, in selling, and you cannot identify the metal dog tags, whether their number is written. It gives us no information about the person, Andrushev said. And as March turns to April and temperature climbed to around 60 degrees Fahrenheit, the problem is getting worse. The problem with Russian bodies is really huge. It is thousands of them before the war. The weather was cold. It was okay. But now we have problems because Russians don't want to take the bodies. Andrushev said, I actually don't know what we will do in the next week with their bodies. Behind the report, Fosak TV USA.